Well, it is Canada's annual Emergency Preparedness Week. It started yesterday. Great to have Hamilton Fire Department Chief Dave Cunliffe on the show to talk about each and every year. So there's always a theme, Dave. And this year's awareness campaign, it is called Plan for Every Season.
That's right.
So what does that mean?
So as we're seeing with climate change, we're seeing a lot of weather-related emergencies happening. So we want folks to be mindful of that. As we're now heading into spring and summer, obviously we want to be thinking about potential heat emergencies, right? Or we want to talk about wind emergencies where we have a lot of high winds. We also tend to see a lot of rain, so that could be flooding, which also could, the combination of all those things could mean power outages. So we want people to be prepared if that happens. So there's three things that we want them to think about.
Okay.
The first one is we want you to have a plan, right? So we want you to be thinking about if there's a disruption, you have a couple of options. One is, are you able to sustain yourself within your home, maybe without power, maybe without water, for a period of time, 72 hours? And if maybe that's not something that you feel you can do, then what's the next thing? So do you have a family member or folks that you could go and stay with for a period of time? The same thing. If that's not possible, then we want you to have a plan in terms of, we may have to open up an evacuation center where we'll be bringing folks out of the impacted area to a city facility. And so how do you help look after yourself? Yes, we would have people there to help you, but part of it is looking after yourself.
Yeah, it's just even like you just brought a few things just as examples, but just having some extra water kind of hidden away, just even have an extra box of Cheerios or some Kraft dinner. Well, even Kraft dinner doesn't work because you'd have to cook it on the stove. So you have to think about things that would work in that environment without power.
That's exactly the plan. And then the other thing is, we want you to have a kit. So have a 72-hour kit. So something that can help you to sustain yourself and your loved ones and your pets over 72 hours if that was the case. And so things that you want to be thinking about. You want to think about a battery-operated radio. Who thought we'd say that today? Because that doesn't happen a lot. But that could be your source to listen for information that you might need. A flashlight, extra batteries, a blanket, some water, some granola bars.
And know where that flashlight is. Because I have flashlights in the house, but I'll admit, sometimes I just don't know where they are because they're in that drawer at the bottom that's full of other stuff.
And you know what? When you go to turn it on, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Right? And it's dark, so you can't see it. We want you to think about your medication. Make sure you've got medication. Have some toiletries. The other thing is, make a list of those phone numbers that you need, because if the cell towers are down or something's wrong with cell, you don't have your numbers.
We don't know numbers anymore.
Nobody remembers them like we used to back in the day. The other thing too is that think about your pets. Because one of the things you want to make sure, pets are part of the family, and you want to make sure, so whether you've got some food, whether you got medication for your pets, a leash, those types of things.
Emergency preparedness, this is just not fire. This is just not Hamilton Fire. You team with all the emergency services, police, paramedics? That's
correct. And as a city, the Emergency Management Division is part of the Hamilton Fire Department, but we're doing it in conjunction with everybody. Because when an emergency hits, everybody comes together, right? And so that's the other piece too. We want people to stay informed. If something happens, you need a way to be able to listen and hear what's going on. We'll be putting out messaging through social media, on websites, obviously television as well. But you want to know, because we may be providing information that says, okay, because of this type of incident, we're going to need to evacuate an area. We're going to need to have people go to an evacuation center. So there may be the need for people to get there. There may be the need for them. We'll have muster points where we have buses and things to help them get there, but they need to stay informed in terms of how long and how severe this incident is.
Okay, so keep an eye out. We're going to continue this. We're going to put it on our website, cach.com/morninglive, with more on this. You can follow along, hamilton.ca/emergency, because it is Emergency Preparedness Week all the way until May the 11th. Great to have Hamilton Fire Chief Dave Cunliffe with us this morning.